Hi, and welcome to the Thrive Alcohol Free podcast. I'm Dupe Witherick, alcohol free wellbeing and transformational coach, and the best selling author of A Cocktail of Clarity, How to Ditch Drinking, Embody a Joyful New Identity, and Thrive Alcohol Free. This podcast will show you that being alcohol-free is not what the traditional narrative says. And even though alcohol is so ingrained in our society that it is okay to give yourself permission to stop drinking if you want to. And you do not have to wait until you hit rock bottom. It is certainly not boring, and I believe ditching drinking is just the start to living an extraordinary life. By getting rid of this one thing, it allows the doors to open to endless possibilities and opportunities. Each week, we will have guests on who are at various stages of the alcohol-free journey, from those who are curious to those who have been alcohol-free for years. We will also have experts on talking about different topics relating to alcohol and beyond. Through these conversations, you will discover what it means to thrive alcohol-free. Enjoy. Hi, and welcome to the latest episode of the Thrive Alcohol Free podcast. I'm so pleased you are here. And it's been a bit of a while since we've last had a podcast episode on. I can't believe it has been 3 weeks since I got back from Bali, which was amazing, the Finding Freedom retreat. So I'm going to tell you a bit about that. This is going to be a slightly different episode, a bit of a shorter episode, but I just thought we can have a bit of a catch up as it's been a while. I hope you're doing well. And over the past few weeks since this episode, since Thrive Alcohol Free podcast has been released, I hope things are going well for you. I wonder what you've been up to. Feel free to get in touch. I'm actually asking if you would like to as it's part of my human design, I'd love to connect with people via a virtual coffee. So if that's something you want to do, feel free to get in touch. I'll put the link below and then let's have a virtual coffee. No pressure, whatever you want to talk about. I just thought it'd be quite fun to get to know you a bit better. So, gosh, why hasn't an episode come out? This is actually really strange for me because normally I'm pretty good. We get episodes out every week. And I think this is the longest break we've had, but I'm delighted that we're back. And I wanted to spend this session just talking a bit about the Finding Freedom retreat because it was amazing. It was epic. And I was delighted that the women that came along joined. There was one woman who hadn't flown for over 20 years, had never done long haul, and she took the brave step to come and join us. Another woman, she'd stopped drinking for 6 weeks prior to joining the Finding Freedom retreat, and now she's committed to not drinking until the end of the year. And another woman left her children behind for the first time since they were born for that length of time, and again came along, sunk herself into it, and it was just amazing. So what I thought I would do is tell you a bit about the retreat, what we did, and maybe give you some insights as well that I felt, 10 key takeaways that I got from Bali. And my heart is full because it is still full because it was just this amazing thing. We all flew across the world to go deep, unplug from expectations, and reconnect to what really matters. And what unfolded were breakthroughs, were power shifts, and actual life change. And so I really thought it'd be worth just sharing some insights that hopefully will help you as well that I got from this Finding Freedom retreat. And it was 8 days, 7 nights in the most amazing, it's called the Enchanted Garden Resort. It's the most beautiful resort. It was really calm. It has 12 rooms only, with a pool in the center, and then we had access to a beautiful yoga shala, which you could then see all the greenery from the gardens and the palm trees and the trees that I think they're called, with the elephant leaves, the big leaves. And you could smell the incense, you could smell all the flowers from the daily offerings that they give in the country. And it was just so exciting and so wonderful. And we spent those 8 days really digging into ourselves. And I curated it in a way that we went on a journey. And so we started off with a welcome ceremony and a welcome dinner. And then the next day we did a water healing ceremony and went on one of these barley swings, as well as doing tea and coffee tasting, which was fab. And each day we had something different to do. And so, all in all, we ended up doing lots of different excursions. One of my highlights personally was the Pyramids of Chi, where we did a sound healing journey, which was like a 90-minute sound healing, which was just unbelievable, really, really powerful stuff. And we did breath work, we did daily yoga, we had delicious meals, and I was coaching every single day. I coached the ladies and again took them on a journey where really they got to the point where they could thrive. We covered things like purpose, value, what people really wanted. We never ask ourselves, what do we really want? And so we delved into that. Things that were holding us back, things that we're struggling with, fear. We interwove human design throughout. So each day we had there was something there that we could look at for human design. So for example, when it came to fears, we were looking at the different fears, but then we started talking about specifically the fears which are the shadows within the splenic center and how that affects them and what their fears were specifically, if they were living in their shadows. And by bringing in the human design element, that made it a lot more personal to them as well, and thinking about their types, how best to use their energy, make aligned decisions. And so that was really fun. And then every evening, late afternoon, evening, we did a women's circle where we did coaching. We really brought our full selves to it, and the women could ask any questions, and we really delved into what was going on. It was really a real safe and brave space that these women came into, and it was a warm, compassionate, non-judgmental environment. And so it was just wonderful. It was wonderful, wonderful. And I will be running the next one next year. So if you are interested in joining that, then feel free to get in touch. The tickets for that will be on sale soon, and you can get your deposit down. You will have until next year. It's going to be September next year, so you have over a year to get into the Finding Freedom Retreat in Bali 2026, and I can't wait to see you there. Okay, so the 10 insights, what were they? So the first one, alcohol-free equals bold AF. As I said, one woman hadn't flown for 20 years, another one was terrified of leaving her family, but all of us said yes anyway. The result? That some courage is now fueling job changes, firm boundaries, really having those conversations that they wanted to have. They really started doing that by coming out and coming to the retreat. They decided they were going to make this bold move, and that was that. And from there, they've now come home really feeling changed and ready to tackle all the things that they thought were either holding them back or that they needed to work through. And they're now on this journey, which is incredible. So, what bold move are you putting off? And what is it that you need to do? And if you are alcohol free, I'd love to hear what bold moves you've done since becoming alcohol free. And if you are curious, what are those bold moves you would love to do if you took a break from alcohol? The next insight that I learned was vulnerability accelerates your next level. So we really did crack open the real stuff. We talked about relationships dynamics, we talked about next chapters in lives, career shifts, unspoken dreams. And these conversations really led to people making decisions, as I mentioned, just saying the lady that said she was going to now do 6 months alcohol free, and I'm continuing to work with her on a one-to-one basis. Then people really looking at how they are living their lives and what wasn't going well, what was going well, where the dynamics weren't quite working, and really thinking about, right, what is it they want to change? And saying yes to those long desired goals. Again, we rarely sort of give ourselves permission to go after what we truly want. And so that really leads into the next one, which is you are the only one who can give yourself permission. No boss, no mentor, no partner, no guru is coming to knight you, is coming to save you, is coming to say, right, now's your turn to do this. You can only give yourself permission. And the women in the retreat really identified where they were waiting and where they weren't taking that step forward, and they made that decision to move forward. So whether that was thinking about how they wanted to show up when they got home, what they were going to do in their next chapter, they really stopped asking for permission and started thinking about, right, what can I do now? Because no one's coming to save you, and you only have one precious life. So, what are you doing with it, and how do you make the most of it? And what is it that you've been wanting to do that you feel like you need someone to tell you that you can go and do it? If you still feel like you need permission, I'm giving you permission now. But you don't need permission. There is no permission needed. Go and do whatever it is you want to do. Number 4, time away equals truth revealed. So when the noise stops, that is when the clarity floods in. And just by being in a completely different environment, as the week went on, I really saw these ladies just start really thinking that they could choose to change their story. They could choose to build a life that was theirs, that wasn't pleasing everybody else, that wasn't doing things because other people expected that of them. They really got clear on what they wanted and how they wanted to leave the retreat and move forward with their lives. So, by taking this time out, by getting away from those daily stresses of life, that constant thought process and being process, that hamster wheel, 95% of the things we do is based on our subconscious. So we repeat the same thoughts 95% of the time, every day. And what's really scary is 80% of those thoughts are negative. And so if we don't take an actual break, or we don't change in any way, or we don't actually acknowledge that, we find that we just keep going on that same thought pattern. Nothing changes. We keep saying something's going to change and nothing changes. We keep saying we want to feel like this and we don't do it, because 95% of our subconscious is running. And so we're not actually able, unless we make that conscious decision, to make a difference. And so what I do in my coaching is subconscious reprogramming. I have an additional 5 times certification. So I've been working on that this year, and I qualified at the beginning of June. So I now have, on top of my transformational coaching qualification and my holistic sobriety qualification, I also am a mindset coach, a neural energetic wiring practitioner, a neural energetic encoding practitioner, which are effectively NLP and timeline certifications. I'm also an EFT practitioner and a hypnosis practitioner. And through hypnosis, which is really deep relaxation, it's not what we all thought it was, where we used to watch people being hypnotized and they would end up behaving like chickens and running across the stage. That isn't what hypnosis is. Hypnosis is really powerful and a great way to reprogram that subconscious mind. So if you're interested in that, then feel free to get in touch with me. Number 5, rituals don't need to be perfect to be powerful. So one of the women's circles, we started talking about morning and evening routines and what they were and how best to incorporate them into life without feeling overwhelmed, without feeling like you have to do all the things and there are all these rules, the rule of I need to wake up at 5 a.m. otherwise I'm not going to be successful. How do you make morning and evening routines work for you? Because they are building those healthier habits into your life, especially when you stop drinking and you suddenly have all this time on your hands, is a great thing to do. But you need to design a simple, flexible evening and morning routine which supports you and supports your growth and doesn't add to the pressure. So we went through certain elements of a morning and evening routine, and the ladies left with grounded daily rhythms that help them stay alcohol free help them feel like they're connected to themselves and they can focus on what matters. Number 6, we had an amazing session on managing and processing emotions. And I talked about the feelings wheel, and we realized, and there was one woman who really just appreciated and suddenly had this mindset shift that she was blown away. It was a huge breakthrough for her, where she realized she wasn't her emotions. You are not your emotions. That was a real powerful takeaway. So realizing that emotions are messages, they're not identities, they are telling you something, and really understanding that and being able to notice those emotions, sit with those emotions, navigate those emotions helps you to get to that next level of emotional intelligence and helps you to really work through things that might come up. Especially in the early days of being alcohol free, I suggest you don't want to go deep into things that might have happened, traumatic events or emotions that you don't want to come up with. Maybe a few months in, maybe 100 days in, 6 months in, you might want to really think about how to manage your emotions. And again, that's a session that I do with people to really get them to manage and navigate those emotions. Number 7, you've given away your power and it's time to call it back. Again, I did this powerful meditation, which was all about calling back your power. A lot of us have lost our power along the way. We have left it in past relationships, in workplaces, in regrets, in conversations. And we really need to make sure all our power is with us. So we did this powerful meditation, which was all about calling back your power. And all the women walked away feeling in their full power, owning their power, and they realized they could stop outsourcing that. And so that left them with at peace and confidence and self-worth that we all need. And so if you are curious about calling your power back and what that meditation is all about, get in touch. I would love to take you through that. Number 8, your values are your daily compass. So as I mentioned, we did like a values mapping exercise. The ladies really spent time going through what their core values are, and actually what their values were 5 years ago weren't necessarily what they are now. And when you ditch drinking, you actually start to realize what's important to you. And by understanding your core values, then being able to live out those values every day, that's what brings you joy. How can you incorporate living those values every day? That then gives you the clarity towards whether you need to do a pivot in your career, whether your business needs to shift, how you want to use your time, when to say no, because you're actually saying, well, if it's not aligned to my values, then I don't want to do it. So really understanding your values is a great thing, and it should really be used as a daily compass. I'm not going to say should, we don't want to should all over ourselves. Should is not a great word, so ignore the should. But if you know your values, you can really, and you can live your values, your days are just so joyful. Number 9, your 80-year-old self already knows you've got this. So again, we did an incredible guided meditation to meet our future selves. And they had something to say. And the ladies went into this meditation, they did the meditation, I walked them through the meditation, and the power of that meditation was amazing. And the breakthroughs that came from that were incredible. Some of the things that came out were you can trust yourself, stop waiting. They really hit hard. And that perspective really unlocked the next steps for them and a deeper sense of peace now, knowing it's already done. What you want, what's you, all your desires are there because they're waiting for you. Your 80-year-old self knows all the things you've been through, and she is cheering you on along the way. She knows what you need and where you're going. And so this meditation was incredible. And then we unpacked that, because then that really helped the ladies see where they'd been holding themselves back, where they'd been not quite living fully in a way that they want to live. And so, and having that realization that you can trust themselves was powerful. And finally, coaching is the rocket fuel. We used human design, breathwork, EFT tapping, and deep coaching to really break through so many blocks during the week. And there were tangible transformations. There were clear plans that came out. There was a peace in place of chaos. Decisions were made, doubts were dissolved, and it just showed the power of coaching. And I was really, really honoured to be able to take and host these ladies on this incredible journey. It was so, so exciting and I just loved it. And so I can't wait to do it all over again. But in the meantime, I really want you to realize the power of retreats, the power of coaching. It absolutely helps you shift in ways that you just can't imagine. And I think people underestimate how powerful coaching is. I recently did a coaching session, a course of coaching with a lady, and she had been made redundant a few months back. And she just said that the power of coaching and the way she feels now is unbelievable. And she she's a coach herself and she was just like it's blown her away. I think we do underestimate the power of coaching. So I am excited for the women who came on the retreat. As I said, I'm continuing to work with a couple of them one to one, and I can't wait to see where their journey goes. Um, Bali is the most magical place, the most incredible place, but and I'd love you to experience it because it's got an energy that just really enables you to come back to. And so, obviously, as I said, Bali, the next Bali retreat is going to be September 2026. So, if you're listening to this and you're really excited and you're thinking, gosh, I really want to do some coaching, I really want to work with Dupe, I would love and be honored to work with you. My coaching style is very much warm, compassionate, and creating a non judgmental environment in a safe and brave space where you can bring your whole self and really be open and know that you can say whatever and it will be absolutely fine and you will get breakthroughs. So I'm offering a couple of things at the moment where you can work with me. So I thought I'd just mention those. Um, I do one-to-one coaching, as you know, and generally that's 3, 6, and 12 months. But I do have a 1 month private coaching intensive that I'm offering called Human Design Confidence Comeback and or the HD Confidence Comeback. And if you are literally just starting on the alcohol-free journey, then I also have the alcohol-free breakthrough. It's a 1 month and it's really the HD confidence comeback is really there. If you've ticked all the boxes, played the part, kept the peace, there's something inside is done with you delaying, you've been shrinking, and you've not been going after what you really want, and it's time to start rising. And so in 30 days, we will rebuild your confidence from the inside out. You'll ditch burnout, you'll stop asking for permission and start living the life you actually want. It isn't a reset, it's about reclaiming. So this is absolutely for you if you look like you've got it all together but feel stuck on the inside. You want more visibility, meaning, power, but doubt and what ifs keep whispering. You're burnt out from trying to prove your worth and you're done. You know you're built for more and you're finally ready to claim it. So, if that's for you, I'd love you to join. Each week we will do something different. The first week is really discovering who you are, what you actually want. Then we'll look at releasing self doubt and rebuilding inner trust. Then we'll craft a bold plan based on alignment, not an obligation, and we will embody the most powerful identity with no apologies. So by day 30, you'll know exactly what you want and go get it. You'll show up with confidence, boundaries, and bold energy. You'll stop overthinking and start owning your next chapter. So I really want you to see the benefit of this, and you can get that. The next thing that I am just so excited about is my VIP experience days. So a little bit, these are probably mini retreats, but they're one-to-one and they are going to be the most exciting thing. So Marrakesh, as you know, I have been living in Marrakesh for quite a while this year, spent quite a bit of time, and I just love it. I think it's a really great place to be, really lovely in terms of what you can see in terms of culture, food, and just some brilliant sights. And so I have one-to-one VIP experiences for high achievers who are ready to redefine what's next through Marrakesh Magic. And so it's a 2-day transformational days, one unforgettable shift. So it's an exclusive, intimate, one-to-one experience limited to just a handful of visionary people each season. And so I'll be running these in September and October. And it's really for you to step away from the day to day. It's a little bit like a mini retreat, as I said, but it's one-to-one. I'm going to be your dedicated guide, and we are going to have 2 days. The first day we will spend really looking at one thing that you're bringing, or maybe a couple of things that you're bringing, and we will come up with tangible insights, strategic roadmap that you can then go and implement. And then day 2, we are going to have walking coaching and cultural exploration. And so that is going to be lots of fun. We'll be unpacking some of the things we had in the day before, but we'll be going to sites such as the Majorelle Garden, Yves Saint Laurent Museum, and then potentially the Bahia Palace or the House of Photography, or maybe my personal favorite, which is Park El Hati. This is all going to be tailor-made to you. It's very personalized. We're going to have amazing food along the way. You'll also have 2 nights in a beautifully appointed Airbnb. As I said, you'll have lunch and dinner included, and we're just going to really unpack things that might be holding you back, that you might be wanting to do, so you can go after that bold goal that you're looking for. So I would love you, if you're interested in any of those, either the HD Confidence Comeback or Marrakesh Magic VIP experience, feel free to get in touch, and I would love to chat and connect, and I can't wait to see you and to work with you. And if you are looking for something else, just feel free to get in touch at dw@thrivealcoholfree.com, or head to the website thrivealcoholfree.com, or DM me at Thrive Alcohol Free. All the details are in the show notes, and I hope that hearing about the retreat and Bali has shifted, and the 10 insights has shifted something in you, and I look forward to hearing from you. So I will see you on the next episode. Take care. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Thrive Alcohol Free podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe so you get alerted every time I drop a new episode. I'd love it if you could rate, review, and share this episode. Feel free to tag me on Instagram at Thrive Alcohol Free and follow me for daily tips. If you would like to work with me, I offer one-to-one coaching sessions and have my signature Thrive Alcohol Free Society group coaching program. If you're not yet ready for coaching, I also have a self-paced online course, which is a companion to my book, A Cocktail of Clarity. All the links are in the show notes. I will see you in the next episode. Have a wonderful week. Take care.